So the Tribune quizzes Mayor Ted Wheeler on his plan for massive sanctioned homeless camps. Now, I've talked about his plan for as long as it's been out there, and it's a very aggressive plan, but in my opinion, it is going absolutely nowhere. Let's jump on in. Let's find out. Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler, along with Portland City Commissioner Dan Ryan, has proposed the largest and most expansive plan yet to address homelessness in the city. So, everybody wants to crap on Mayor Ted Wheeler. Okay, here's where I give him props. He's at least got a plan. It might not be a good plan, and it's not going to work, but he's at least got a plan. He's holding on to that. It's like, all right, you're doing something. Instead, and I know I'll take some heat on that, but you get what I'm saying. At least he's doing something. And it might be in the totally wrong direction. But I give props for not necessarily trying, but okay, Mayor Ted, all right. Well, let's see what you got anyway. I'm kind of at that point, right? The proposal has drawn responses across the board, including praise from some in the business community and condemnation from some service providers. That's interesting, right? Oh, taking a bite into the billion-dollar industrial homelessness complex. At the heart of the multi-faceted plan, the proposal to build and sanction 6 homeless camps, each large enough for 250 residents to be built somewhere in the city. From my understanding, it is 750 total residents. It is 6 camps of 125 a pop. So 3 camps, and so groupings of 3, 250 residents. So this, how many thousand homeless folks do you have in Portland? Thousands. This is going to do a little bit of a dent in there. As far as if you look at the sheer numbers, this is going to have a little bit of a dent on, okay, you got XYZ number of homeless people and you got XYZ number of beds available. None of the homeless people in Portland who are there to do drugs are going to take advantage of this housing. None of them are going to go there. That's my prediction. And in watching video after video after video and being at the sweeps, seeing people line up, some people do actually want to get help, but the vast majority of people in the encampments leave. They just scoot on down the road before they're really forced to make a commitment. All right, we're either going to arrest you or we got to clean this out. City comes in with the police and they just basically force people out and go down that route. And, Portland has been doing a ton of that. Portland has been cleaning things out. San Francisco has been doing a ton of that. They're way behind. Both cities are way behind. San Francisco, there's a state Supreme Court order that basically says, no, you can't do that. Can't do that because it's unclear whether you're providing a bed for these folks or not. How we got here is mind-blowing to me. But now that we know that we're here and this is what's going on, it's kind of like, all right, let's identify what's really happening. You got a bunch of crazy people running around, and then you got a whole bunch of people on drugs. If you watch enough videos, you will have drug addicts, especially on Soft White Underbelly. If you haven't watched that channel, he's got some good stuff in there. Controversial guy from the standpoint of some of his content creation, and it's poverty porn. He's taking advantage of these people. But he's actually, Mark Leda, he's actually telling stories. He's allowing these folks that are, on the streets of Skid Row, maybe they're in Appalachia, they're in some of these communities where you've got literally the most downtrodden in the United States. He is describing their story. He is letting them tell their story. And oftentimes they will say, yeah, I moved from here to here. And they'll go, yeah, I was in Seattle. I went down to Portland. I went to San Francisco. I went down to LA, basically dialing in these cities where you can do all the drugs in the world you want, that they're going to give you free needles. They're going to give you everything but the drugs to do your thing. That's the ecosystem that we live in. So when you wonder why LA, when San Francisco, Portland, and Seattle, when you wonder why the encampments have popped up the way that they have, to me, it's pretty clear. And most recently, it's fentanyl. It's fentanyl. I had one of Portland's finest send me a photo the other day, and it was in what is referred to as OD Alley. And it showed like the dirt area for a tree that was growing. And in the, 2x2 dirt area was just littered with little bits of tinfoil, meaning people, been smoking the fentanyl and then you discard it and ends up, how's that tree going to do? Poor tree. It didn't do anything. How much fentanyl does it take to kill a tree? I don't know. Because it doesn't seem to take much to give normal people an OD, does it? All right. So let's get back to this story here. So we got the proposal. You got 250 residents, 3 different camps. The Tribune posed several questions to Mayor Ted Wheeler. Where will these camps be built? The Tribune asks. And we're reading this because this is the first really major West Coast type approach. San Francisco's had some, LA's had some, but we're talking about basically building some mini cities with towns, we should call them, homeless towns, right? And this was Mayor Ted Wheeler's answer for where will these camps be built. We're in active conversations with numerous property owners to come to an agreement on site locations. Locations will be announced in the near future. How would you feel about having 250 drugged up homeless people living in an encampment in your backyard? You want to talk about some NIMBY, I think is what they referred to it, not in my backyard. Think you're going to have some of that? Whew, not good. Tribune asks, you're going to run into very, very heavy neighborhood opposition if they're in the neighborhood. What is the plan to counter that? Mayor Ted. We've held numerous community meetings with the public to engage with neighborhoods to hear their concerns, ideas, and input. We started these town halls by extending an open invitation to anyone in the community that would like to attend. Hundreds showed up. Opening question was, imagine one of these designated camping sites was in your neighborhood. What services and precautions would need to be implemented for these to work? How about folks want to come into the encampment? That's fine, but they got to be sober. They got to have a job, or could be working towards something, towards a job, and they got to be sober. And the minute they violate those, kind of like you have in a halfway house or a sober house, the second you violate those terms, you're gone. You're back out there. So it's a pay to play type scenario, right? Camps will be in areas. This is Mayor Ted continuing. Camps will be in areas across the city, so no single area will be solely impacted. There will be continued community engagement once camps are up and running. So the entire city will be impacted, is what he's saying. He's spreading it out far enough where everything's impacted. That's kind of my thought, right? All right. So you don't want to concentrate them in one area. You don't want to do that. Okay. I get that. So the Tribune, what's the city's plan to get the county, metro, and state to pony up? Well, we have 800 self-sited, unsanctioned campsites across 146 square miles of Portland. This is a public health emergency where we're working to get those experiencing outdoor homelessness with a very high percentage of dealing with untreated mental health and substance abuse closer to services. All right. So that's one of the kickers, right? That is one of the kickers, is that it's got to be close enough. Most of these people don't have cars. They're going to have to be transported. Right. And that's if we ever get to this. I mean, I do not hold out high hope. Mayor Ted is at least addressing the fact. I'm not trying to give Mayor Ted props here. I'm just saying, at least he's saying untreated mental health and substance abuse. So these folks shouldn't be in encampments. They should be in treatment, or they should be in a psych ward somewhere. That's where they need to be. And maybe in a psych ward getting detoxed off the drugs they're on. Because, I mean, some of these folks are, there's a reason they're doing the amount of drugs they are, because they are, they need help. These folks need help. And they're certainly not going to get it if you just kind of, put them in an encampment. And I know that in the encampments, they're going to say, yeah, we're going to have wraparound services for this, and this. And I'm kind of like, yeah, but they're closing their doors on their little mini homes and they're just shooting themselves to kablooey. So how does that help anybody? But, in a place like Portland, you're not going to have a All right, we'll accept you, but you got to be sober. Let's go into the bathroom and you take a piss test, or let's draw some blood. How about that? You okay with that? When's the last time you used? That's never going to happen. Not going to happen. Just, hard no-go. Let's keep going here. So Mayor Ted says, we have made clear asks to our government partners to support specific funding requests. Yeah, Mayor Ted's got a big plan, but no funding. And so Multnomah County to delay their budget vote this week. That's what he wants. And to agree to a joint 30-day financial review. He's asking for $21 million to fund the capital and operation costs. So the county has over $33 million. So we just start to go through a whole bunch of numbers. When I started reading that, my eyes glaze over. So here's the one figure from this kind of stuff. They're going to want $123 million annually to run 750 people. What's that per person? Somebody with math, tell me. 123 million to run 750 residents. I'll try and look over here and see what that is. But yeah, it's not good, right? I mean, that's a boatload of money to, try and do what little we're doing here. Because remember, this doesn't cover all the homeless people in Portland, nor will it ever serve to do that. Nor will it ever serve to do that throughout any of these communities, because that's not really how this works. So will the new rule of forbidding street camping pass legal muster? Efforts to do so in the past haven't. That's the big thing. Is they're trying to say in Portland, it's going to be illegal to camp out in the street if there is a bed available and you don't take it. Here's the Tribune. If a person won't leave the sidewalk, which municipal employee will make them move? A police officer? Mayor Ted, we're hiring 50 new outreach and navigation workers to better connect homeless Portlanders to shelter and other services. We'll continue the current practice used by outreach teams. How is that working out right now in Portland? Yeah, it's just not working out, right? So then we got a study and we got Mayor Ted. So kind of saying, these designated campuses are designed to more effectively connect existing services to those experiencing outdoor homelessness and other issues. Standard stuff. Bottom line, this is going nowhere. This is much of the same. Mayor Ted got a plan. Will it get put in place? Probably not. Will he talk about it throughout the rest of his time as mayor of Portland? Yes. He'll point to this as, well, we gave it a good effort. We really tried. We really tried to make something happen here. It's not happening, because to me, what has put Portland on the map for all of this craziness has been, well, let's decriminalize drugs. Let's just go down this roadway. Fentanyl? Bring it on. It's good. Portland had a massive bust the other day. Can't remember how, it was like enough doses to kill 1 million people. Read that pretty often. And you're like, okay, you're telling me that, but the way they're dosing it out, and not that many people are dying, but what's it going to be? 120,000 overdoses this year? I mean, COVID killed 1 million people total that we know of. Yeah. How about all the athletes just croaking, reporters just plopping over? Get some crazy stuff going on there, right? You get some wild stuff. We'll try and unpack some of that, but so any of the COVID stuff I'm doing over on reasonabletv.com, because COVID is still basically a no-go. You can't talk about it. I have people all the time say, Sean, here's my opinion. I put it out there on social media and yeah, my channels all got taken down. Now I need you to take your channel and do the same thing, but you don't have enough balls to do that. And I'm like, okay, so you're telling me that you put up stuff that you knew was going to get your channel taken down, and it did, because it violated terms of service. Sometimes it's examples of racism. Sometimes it's just examples of just crazy stuff. Like, okay, that does not shock me that you got your channel. You basically were canceled. That stuff's kind of out there. But then they want me to do the same thing on the same damn topic. And I'm like, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that just doesn't seem all that smart. So what I'm doing is any content that I have been tagged for in the past, whether it is, there are no no advertisers for this type of content. That's, the powers that be way of saying, don't produce this content. It's all over on the private channel. That's the way it's got to go. But most YouTube, content creators, especially in my genre, don't have the ability to do that. So they're going to hook up with a locals.com or something else. Whereas I've got enough bandwidth here between my businesses to make a go of this on my own and not have to do any of this crazy stuff where I bend the knee. And even if it's bending the knee to what used to be, a Dave Rubin type platform, now that's owned by Locals, I think is owned by Rumble. Is that right? It's owned by Rumble. All right. Enough of me babbling. Let's see what you guys got going on over here. Let me get to some of the comments. Yep. So mayor's office gonna pocket most of that in fees. That is so true. It's like, where did all this money go? Yeah. You give folks free stuff, they will abuse it. Absolutely. It's going to take the police to deal with it. Yep. 100%. You're going to have to send in the cops. You know what? In Portland, you don't have enough cops. So where is it really going to go? Elaine Smith, I agree. Okay, somebody's talking about major cities dissolve. That's when you'll walk away and build up another city and start over somewhere else. I think that is already happening. Florida, great example. Idaho, great example. I've got a good friend that I've been talking about lately who just moved to Boise, moved from Issaquah right here, moved to Boise, loves it. Loves the atmosphere, loves the people. And he self-admittedly, he says, Boise, downtown Boise, it's got a little bit of, some liberalness going on, but overall, so you've already got these towns that are being built based on people who tolerate some stuff, don't tolerate some other stuff. Here in Seattle, I'm not the most favorite guy here. Let's just say that. They're just not dying as fast as the mayors were hoping for. There's no great solutions to what we're talking about, is there? There's no great solutions. You might want to say, hey, yeah, they got to get into treatment. They got to get into mental institutions. We simply don't have enough. And so that's why you're going to continue to see these storylines for years moving forward. Years. Because there's no quick fix. It takes massive amounts of time and money to put together the infrastructure for all the stuff that we've just talked about in, those last 3 stories. That's not happening anytime soon. And I honestly believe the powers that be that are in existence right now, they don't really want to see people get help. Because if they did, they'd be doing it and it'd be happening on mass scale. But we've just got all these programs that take the funding, the hundreds of millions of dollars in funding. Where's all that money going? Where's the accountability? I don't know. It's not here. It's not what I'm looking at. All right. That's it for me. I got to go eat some lunch and then do some real estate stuff. I know, boring stuff. Thank you so much for being here. Again, love to have you subscribe. Love to have you share the content. Check out reasonabletv.com. Got a bunch of stuff going on. And I'm going to try and do this live stream where we cover, 3, maybe 4 topics. Thank you so much for being here. We'll catch up on the next one. I appreciate it. Bye for now.